Hi, I'm Verika Robinson, and anytime I make a video, it's so therapeutic for me because there's always a victory at the end. I share my pain and some of the things I've been through because there's a blessing at the end, and I'm hoping that that'll inspire people and maybe motivate people a little bit because people are going through stuff. People are going through stuff, and they don't always have the words to describe what they're going through. And if you watch the video, I'm a miracle, not a mistake, you know my journey. You know what I've been through. And my journey started in 2005. In 2005, I wrote a letter to my father and I asked for his support and I didn't receive a response. Now, my relationship with my father has been up and down all my life. I'm 35 years old now and my entire life has been up and down. So when I wrote that letter and I didn't get a response, my ego said, leave it be and just accept that it's not going to blossom into some beautiful relationship and let it go. And that's what I did. And I didn't think twice about it. 13 years has passed. I did not speak to my father for 13 years. About a month ago, he sent me an instant message and he let me know that my stepmom had passed away. And instantly, the only thing that mattered was the heartbreak that my father has to learn how to live life without his best friend of 30 plus years. 30 plus years living life with the same person. And my stepmom was such a beautiful person. I could talk to her about anything. She had a great sense of humor. I enjoyed her company so much. She was so encouraging. She used to always tell me, Rika, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a good job. And that's the memory I have of her. And now she's gone. I never even told her how much I appreciated it. So right then, I sent my father my phone number and he called me. And let me tell you, we had the best conversation that I've had in a long time. We laughed. He reminded me of some of the things I had done when I was 18 that I didn't even remember doing. Some of the crazy stuff I did when I was a teenager because I called him and told him about it. I called Pops and told him about it. I didn't even remember. And we laughed and laughed and laughed. And it just broke my heart that he's going through something that there's no book, there's no technical book written to tell you how to go through what he's going through right now. Only thing that mattered in that moment was that me and my father would come back together and I would try to help him through all of this. But let me give honor where honor is due. I took a class called Breaking the Cycle. That class is administered by a woman named, an amazing woman named Carol Foster. Miss Carol is what I call her. Miss Carol tried to work on me for 10 years. For 10 years, she tried to get me in that class. And I said, no, I'm not going to that class. She said, Verika, go to my class. I said, I'm not going to that class. Well, finally, I gave in. Miss Carol has a loving heart. She always has love. That's what she gives you every time. So I joined the class, and we reached the section on parents. I didn't want to pay attention to the section because it challenged us to see our parents as people that are imperfect. And it also challenged us to forgive the imperfections of our parents. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I'm one of those people. I wanted my parents to be perfect. They had to get everything right. So I believed, or at least I thought, I had blocked out all of the information on the section. But as soon as my father contacted me, I heard the wisdom of that class come back and say, forgive the imperfections of your parents because they're people just like you. And it blew me away because that wisdom came right on time. And it's so unbelievable that of all people that should understand how life can throw you a curveball, I understand that completely. And it was so silly of me to hold a grudge because we can't afford the price of this grudge. What if that phone call, what if I would have received a phone call and it would have been someone telling me that my father had passed away? And the only memories I have, or recent memory, is that I kept a grudge for more than 10 years, 13 years of holding a grudge. Because I didn't know how I wanted to deal with it. I didn't know how I wanted to approach it. I didn't know how I would respond. I didn't know if I would respond with anger or pain. I just didn't know. So I pushed it to the back burner and I just didn't deal with my broken relationship with my father. I just didn't deal with it. But that wisdom came right on time. And that wisdom says, see your father as a person with imperfections and forgive those flaws. And as soon as that forgiveness set in, I was so relieved. It was like a weight was lifted off of me because I no longer have to hold up the brick wall that blocks out my father, that blocks him from my life. I don't have to hold it up anymore. And I felt so much better. And ever since then, my father and I, we've had the best conversations. We've talked. I talked to him just the other day for an hour and a half just to know what's on his mind, what he's feeling, what he's going through. I thank Miss Carol Foster. I thank her for the Breaking the Cycle class, because the purpose of the class is to stop the behavior. Stop the behavior that curses a family generation after generation after generation. Because it is a cycle. A cycle of an unforgiving heart in a family will cause family members to have such a big rift in their relationships that when you need one another, you need each other's support, the support is not even there. You got to break that cycle. And I'm very grateful for the wisdom of that class. I'm very grateful for my friendship with Miss Carol Foster. And I'm looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to having building a relationship with my pops. And that's his name now. I don't even call him daddy. I don't call him, his name is Pops. That's his name. But I love my pops. Looking forward to having a future with my pops. And every video I make, there's always a song that describes exactly what I'm going through. So I want to dedicate the song Shelter by John Legend to my father, because the lyrics pretty much say, I will try to be the best friend that I can be through your hardest times. And that's what I want to tell my pops right now. So John Legend's Shelter is the link. There should be a link to that song so you can hear the song that I'm talking about. I love that song. I love John Legend's Shelter. But I dedicate that song to my pops. And we're going to get through this one day at a time, one minute at a time, 1 hour at a time. We'll make it through it. Love you, Pops.